What's good, people? This Fallback Digital here, hitting you up with another reaction. And today we have something very, very good, very, very good. And this right here states the obvious. It basically tells you which somebody's gonna break it down. So I'm gonna do the reaction, but somebody's gonna break it down for us. Shout out to Barry Cunningham. Shout out to, go check out his channel. Yeah, man. This is my first time watching this video. I didn't actually see this Stormy Daniels video, because I believe that's why he's in court right now for hush money. But this right here says it all. It says that Trump ain't with it. Trump was never with it. And yo, let's just get into the video. And yeah, man, it's Trump 2024, man. It's everybody's conspiring to get Trump, man. That's it. Alright, so let's just get straight to it. This video is about this video is pretty long. If any ads come through, please forgive me. Please, if you know a way in the comments, please let me know how I could get rid of these ads. I know there's a way or something. Let me know. But let's get into the video. Yeah, cause this right here, this right here, that case with the hush money case should be thrown out. And let's get straight to it. Cause watch this, guys.
Would it give you any kind of closure with your time involving Donald Trump to see him jailed?
Specific to my case, I don't think that his crimes against me are worthy of incarceration.
Okay, and Piers also asked Stormy about this infamous, we've read this many times, we've shown it to you many times, 2018 letter in which she denied having an affair with Donald Trump. And she signed her name to it.
So people point to the contents of this letter and they say, well, what changed? I mean, you couldn't have been more categoric in saying...
I was still under the NDA. And Michael Cohen wrote that and had me sign it, and I didn't want to, which is why I signed my name wrong right before I went on Kimmel and pointed it out.
How did you sign your name?
It doesn't look like my signature.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
But you were still under the NDA, so you felt that obliged to do this.
I was told if I didn't, they'd sue me for the $20 million or whatever it was. I had not been released from the NDA.
If the jury sees this Stormy Daniels interview, the Trump case in New York might be over. Let me rephrase that and put an asterisk on it. If this was truly a fair trial and the jury saw this Stormy Daniels interview, yeah, then the case would be over.
Facts. Keep watching. This brother right here breaks it down, and basically Stormy Daniels just basically like tells on herself, and I believe so. Let's see what's good, because I never, you know what I mean. It's crazy the way they have this whole big conglomerate to get Trump, man. It's basically like a war against Trump. It's crazy.
She actually said crimes against her. What crimes are against her? Has anyone anywhere ever said that Trump committed a crime against Stormy Daniels? I don't think so. What the heck is she even talking about? Let me first say, I am not an attorney. I've slept at a Holiday Inn, but I have been on a jury. And as we go through this video, you tell me, if you were on this jury with Trump, could you possibly convict him? I gotta believe if people saw this interview and actually listen to what she says, you would absolutely no way convict Donald Trump. But that would be for a reasonable person. Piers Morgan was perfect in regards to how he handled this interview. He got her talking about stuff that she was comfortable with. She talked about her daughter. She talked about her marriage. She talked about her business. She talked about her horse. And he got her comfortable where she just kept talking. Now understand, her husband and her her lawyers were present during this interview, and they couldn't stop Piers Morgan from getting to where he wanted to get to. That's how artful, how skillful of an interview Piers Morgan did with Stormy Daniels. Listen to how Piers Morgan sets up the interview, and he lets you know what's coming when he appeared on Sean Hannity's show.
Trump, as I said in the course of the interview, has always emphatically denied any affair. She has emphatically said there was one. And there was, of course, undeniably, this NDA, which was agreed between them just before the 2016 election.
So right there, if you're on a jury, you have one person say there's no affair. If the other person is saying there was an affair, right there, that's reasonable doubt. Who do you believe at this point? Well, a reasonable person would probably believe Trump, but let's continue.
All those things are as they are. But the question is, was she released from that NDA? And before she was released, was she compelled to deny the affair? She said very strongly in the interview that in January 2018, when the Wall Street Journal, Washington Post, whichever one it was, broke the story about this deal that they'd done before the 2016 election, she said that she was under pressure from Michael Cohen, Donald Trump.
From Michael Cohen. Notice that's going to be a theme as you hear what she has to say. She doesn't say at all that she was connected to Donald Trump. Well, other than the dirty deed, if it happened.
Trump's lawyer, that she had to go along with denying any affair, otherwise she would be in breach of the NDA and she would have to pay $20 million. And she really...
Okay, so now there's a big impetus for her to actually stay quiet, because if you break the NDA, you got to pay $20 million. If there was an NDA.
Believe that. So I think that's probably true. The question then is, what happened after that? Well, very quickly after that, she sued to be released from the NDA. And Donald Trump, because he hadn't signed the NDA himself, it was all done by others, including Michael Cohen, he actually, in that court process when she sued, released her from the NDA.
Okay, so listen to what he just said. Trump released her from the NDA. So I'm not going to fight this thing. I don't really care. He had to know whether or not he had done the dirty deed with Stormy before he decided, I'm not signing this thing. NDA is not binding if both parties don't sign. He's like, I don't feel like signing. So why would a guy who's running for president, who supposedly had done the dirty deed with Stormy Daniels, all of a sudden say, nah, never mind? Nobody's talking about that.
You heard that? Nobody's talking about that. If he was very worried about this lady right here, he would have signed it and would have been like, all right, let me get her out the way. But obviously, he wasn't worrying about it because he felt like, nah, man, it wasn't no crime. He ain't do nothing wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. Let's get back to it.
Effectively, and said, look, I didn't sign it, and she's no longer has to abide by it. And on the back of that, she went out and did interviews, including with Anderson Cooper at CBS and others. And Donald Trump, to my knowledge, has taken no legal action against her or those networks as a result of her talking about what she says was the affair. So
you get that. She gets released from the NDA. She decides she's going to go talking everywhere she possibly can, letting people know I did the dirty deed with, Trump, and Trump just doesn't do anything about it. So here's a guy, everyone has been told in the media, everyone keeps saying that he tried to keep her quiet, but that he didn't even sign the NDA. I bet you sitting here right now, you didn't know that Trump did not sign an NDA with her. I didn't know until I heard this interview. And by the way, this interview is a year old. So many people knew that the NDA was never, ever signed by Trump. But nobody tells anybody that.
That's the chronology.
You hear that? This right here, this video right here ends the Trump case, the hush money case, automatically. Automatic. To me, this video don't even have to go that further. This lady is crazy. First off, you heard John Hannity in the beginning with the letter. So you signed a paper saying that he didn't do nothing, then out of nowhere he did something? Like, this Let's keep it going.
Here. But what's interesting, Sean, I thought, my takeaway was what she then said about this whole case, because it doesn't really matter who you believe about the affair. That's not what this court case is now about. The court.
That is big right there. The fact of the matter, whether they had or didn't have an affair, is not what this case is about. What this case is about is that he used $130,000 to cover up the fact that he had an affair, and they're somehow misconstruing this or construing this as it's some kind of campaign finance violation, but he never signed the NDA.
Case is about whether.
There's one simple 20-second rub ritual that anyone can do that relieves 90% of back pain for weeks.
There was some kind of cover-up, what the $130,000 was all about, and that is really what was at the center of what happened in Manhattan this week. I share your view, for what it's worth, that it's a massive overreach, and I think Stormy Daniels shares that view. And
That's what you're gonna hear. Stormy Daniels herself actually says in this interview, hey, it's not that big of a deal. She actually said that.
The woman at the center of the Stormy, if you like. And I think she shares the view that this is all a bit over the top. Are we really going to see an American president brought down and put in prison because of a relationship he may or may not have had with a porn star? It seems absurd.
It's absolutely absurd. And as we move into her interview with Piers Morgan right now, you're going to see how absurd it really gets.
How do you feel about potentially testifying in the trial that will be watched around the world?
I mean, anytime you're up in the public eye, it's scary. I mean, I used to get scared giving an oral book report in school. So, I mean, it's daunting, but I look forward to it. You know what I mean? Because I have nothing to hide. I'm the only one that has been telling the truth.
Which we already know isn't true, because she owes Trump like $500,000 for doing some crazy stuff. But she thinks she's telling the truth. This woman is all over the place in this interview.
And, you know, you can't shame me any even more. So I feel like if they don't, it paints the picture that they know something about me that makes me, you know, untrustworthy or not reliable.
So you want to have...
I do. I think having them call me in and put me on the stand legitimizes my story and who I am. And if they don't, it almost feels like they're hiding me, and people will automatically assume I would that she must not be a good witness. She's not credible.
All right, so that's very interesting. Piers asked her, do you want to testify? She's like, oh yeah, I gotta testify, which means she doesn't know at this point if she's going to testify. In her own words, if I don't testify, if they don't put me on the stand, then people are going to basically infer that I am not credible. So if she doesn't testify, that should be the first thing everybody sees in this case, that, hey, you know, they're bringing out all these witnesses, but they haven't brought out Stormy Daniels. Why wouldn't they bring out Stormy Daniels? Because on cross-examination, this woman is going to fall apart. Her story makes no sense. She's vindictive. She's pissed at Trump, but she can't add anything to the fact of whether or not this was a cover-up because he never signed the NDA. And her contact was with Michael Cohen, which we already know is a felonious liar. So this is just really, really weird. Let's continue.
I mean, not necessarily for this particular indictment, but just generally, would it give you any kind of closure with your time involving Donald Trump to see him in jail?
Specific to my case, I don't think that his crimes against me are worthy of incarceration.
As I said at the outset, what crimes against her? I mean, does anybody know that anyone's alleged that Donald Trump has committed a crime against Stormy Daniels? What crime? What is she talking about? As I said in the open, this makes no sense whatsoever. This woman just said, I don't think he should go to...
What crime? Something that adults do all the time? Like, come on. They're just trying to make this man look bad because he's running for presidente at the time. And then again, they ain't even do nothing then if they had an issue with it. They're going to wait all the way until... They're going to wait 8 years later to come up with this BS. And then again, this lady, like this gentleman said, like Barry Cunningham said, she's all over the place. And keep watching.
jail because the crimes he did against me aren't warranted. This case has nothing to do with any potential crimes against Stormy Daniels. It makes absolutely no sense. The crime that they are alleged that Trump did has to do with a cover-up of, basically misappropriation of funds. Nobody has a case anywhere in regards to Trump perpetrating a crime against Stormy Daniels. What is she talking about? That makes no sense whatsoever.
Jameson, a fellow adult entertainment star, said recently about you, the left looks at her as a whore and just uses her to try to discredit the president. The right looks at her like a treacherous rat. It's a lose-lose. Should have kept her mouth shut, her trap shut. What do you say to that?
So part of that is true.
So part of that is true. Well, you're either this or that, and part of that is true. Which part, Stormy? Which part is true?
Gotta be honest with you, I don't remember if the word inquirer was straight mentioned to me.
Okay, so now Pierce, in part of this interview, has moved into the National Enquirer, and whether the National Enquirer.
He's right. Like, what side she's on? Like, she's mad because, I could have got some more. I could have just been a good friend to Trump, and all this stuff could have been under anything. You know what I mean? Like, what side you on? You on the side of, damn, why did I go against Trump on some BS? You know what I mean? And then now look at me now. You get what I'm saying? Like, you could tell she regrets what she's doing, but she's going to keep it going because, to me, she wants the money, so, but I'm not even sure if he's being sued, but anyway, but she just want him to look bad or whatever, but let's keep it going, man. Let's keep it going.
Basically, David Pecker was testifying yesterday whether or not he was involved in doing anything hush money wise with Stormy Daniels. This is really interesting.
I could be wrong. It was just a lot has happened.
Because the story is that the Enquirer's CEO and editor then contacted Michael Cohen, who then offered you $130,000 for the story rights and for you to sign an NDA, a legally enforceable document written to ensure the story won't actually ever be made public. So a kind of catch and kill, they called it, with the Enquiry's corporation because they had a good relationship with Donald Trump and thought he might become president.
Right.
So you agree to this and you sign the NDA and you accept this deal. The document didn't include Trump's signature. It had a space for it, but he hadn't signed it.
That was a separate letter.
So why did you do the deal?
So two parts of that. I wanted it to go away. I was told it was to not release the story. That it was catch and kill. I didn't even know that part. I was told it wasn't going to come out, which is exactly.
Told by who? Do you hear all this BS? I was by who? Who are you talking about? Like, who? Let's keep it going. See, it's a whole conspiracy.
What I wanted. I didn't want this coming out. I had this great life. I was living in Texas. Everything was great. This was the fucking last thing I wanted. And then I had what you don't know, and I have talked about it. It's in my book, but people just is that there before that. I have a friend that's an attorney, not my attorney, that I'm just friends with in Texas.
Yeah, I don't believe that, but let's keep it going.
So it was talking about how, he knew the story from way back when. Oh, you should say something, blah, blah, blah. I was like, he doesn't even want to be president.
What does it have to do with your case? What is she talking about here? I love how Pierce basically extracted all this information from her, talking to her friend about this, and that Trump doesn't want to be president, that he just wants to be a thorn in Hillary's side. What does this have to do with the NDA?
Like, I'm sure it's some sort of, he's either in cahoots with Hillary. Remember, he backed her before, which makes sense, or there's something going on here. I'm not worried about it. And he was like, all right. And then he got the nomination. And then his whole tone with me changed. And he was like, I'm concerned. I was like, why? He goes, well, now, as big of a doofus as he is, now he's still actually the Republican Party's problem.
So now what she's saying is her friend, the attorney in Texas, said it was no big deal, but now that he's the nominee, you may have a problem, Stormy. You know what happened to Marilyn Monroe and some of these other women that did, little bits of indiscretion with former presidents and how they got whacked? You might want to watch out. This guy might off you. So now this guy has planted in her head that she may become a victim in the very near future. Does that basically do anything to her judgment? Listen to what she says.
And they're going to have to clean up his mess and get rid of skeletons. I wouldn't be surprised if you died in a single car accident or you OD'd. I was like, what? You're their problem now. Like,
yo, do y'all hear this? Now, do y'all believe this is the Michael, what's that dude? Michael Cohen dude, the lawyer? Who y'all think this is? Because she just said, oh, he's just a friend. Right, but she's probably talking about him because that lawyer is no longer Trump's lawyer, and he's actually going against Trump right now in the case. And you hear all this, right? I believe it's him. She just probably left his name out. You get what I'm saying? In regards to this right here, this scenario, what she's saying, because this right here sounds like a whole setup, and the guy is like, yo, her friend lawyer is saying, yo, you're going to have to do this down the third. You get what I'm saying? Like, just keep it going. You'll hear it.
Think about it. Think about what happened to Marilyn, like all these people. And I was like, but then I was like, I went down a rabbit hole in Google.
You thought what happened to Marilyn Monroe might have
And he
been.
named a bunch of other things. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then they approached me with the NDA.
So she went and looked up what happened to Marilyn Monroe and other women, Ted Kennedy with Chappaquiddick and all these.
See? And that's what the Democrats do. They know those tactics. They know how to play them fear tactics all the time. They know that. They are the masters at trickery. And they also, they bring people on board to also play that along. They got lawyers, judges, news media, everybody, newscasters, all types of people who does this trickery on people that know how to do the separation, divide, division, all that. You understand me? This is what the Democrats do, and you see how they went and got her to go after Trump. Let's keep it going.
These different things about women basically being silenced per se. And now she's worried, and nothing Trump said, nothing even Michael Cohen said. This guy in Texas, her friend, said, hey, they might try to off you at this point. Now you may want to check out that NDA and do what you need to do because, hey, you might not be here.
And I was like, what do you think I should do? And he goes, well, I think you should come forward and stop him. He goes, but as your friend, at least if you sign this and there's payment, there's a paper trail and they can't hurt you.
All right, so now if you sign this, there's a paper trail. So she signed it. Trump didn't. Nobody is telling you that. Trump did not sign this NDA that she signed because she was worried that she may end up in the water like Chappaquiddick or like Marilyn Monroe.
In January 2018, so this is a year after his inauguration, the Wall Street Journal reports on the deal. And Michael Cohen states publicly he paid you using his own money. He wasn't directed to by Donald Trump. And you respond by suing Trump and Cohen, seeking to have the NDA invalidated.
Right.
So understand what he just said. Michael Cohen went ahead and paid you, quote, with his own funds. Then Stormy Daniels.
Okay, check this out. This chocolate literally fragments fat cells into tiny pieces and flushes them out of your body so quick.
Obviously looking for more money, decides to try and sue Trump so she can invalidate the NDA so she can make some money. It's very easy to see what's going on here. I hope she goes on to stand.
Because he didn't sign it, and because he said he wouldn't enforce it, the case was dismissed. And then things start to spiral.
And to clarify, this is where people mess up all the time, the case dismissed in my favor, which means I was released from the NDA.
Right, so you were then able to tell your story if you wanted to.
Right.
Yeah.
There was no...
So now she's free to tell her story to whoever she wants, and of course Trump didn't care. She didn't even fight it.
Longer valid. I was released
Because
from it.
he hadn't signed it anyway.
He hadn't signed it, and also they had broken it. They had broken the stipulations in the NDA, not once, not twice, but 3 times before I ever did.
So You then issue a...
What stipulations? She just said that. I can't imagine if they say that in court. So what stipulations did they break once or twice or three times? Because now all of this can now be admitted, whether or not the corrupt judge allows it, but it can be admitted. She's on video saying this stuff.
letter. And this has been a very contentious...
Oh, here we go. Yes, this is one of those things I'm telling you that people don't...
Right, so this is in the same month that the story gets reported by the Wall Street Journal. You say, to whom it may concern, over the past few weeks, I've been asked countless times to comment on reports of an alleged sexual relationship I had with Donald Trump many, many, many years ago. The fact of the matter is that each party to this alleged affair denied its existence in 2006, 2011, 2016, 2017, and now again in 2018. I'm not denying this affair because I was paid hush money, as has been reported in overseas owned tabloids. I'm denying this affair because it never happened.
All right, so understand that letter that Sean Hannity showed, and I've shown in a number of videos, where she signed this letter. She signed this letter and said, it never happened. Nope, it never happened. I'm going to sign my name to this letter because I'm hoping to get paid, and I'm going to keep this NDA in place. And it was a condition of the NDA that I go ahead and sign this letter so I can pick up a check for $130,000. So I'm going to sign this letter and say it never happened. But then when she got released from the NDA, she's going to say that they forced me or coerced me to sign it. I didn't really mean to sign it. I never wanted to say that. That wasn't me.
I have no further comment on this matter. Please feel free to check me out on Instagram.
Okay,
Stormy Daniels.
So that's the second one.
Right, so explain to me though...
That's the second one. There was one before that.
Right.
Where's the one before that? How come nobody has brought out the other letter that she signed?
So people point to the contents of this letter and they say, well, what changed? I mean, you couldn't have been more categoric in saying...
I was still under the NDA. Michael.
So she's saying she only signed it because of the NDA. Now listen to what she says right here.
Cohen wrote that and had me sign it, and I didn't...
Michael Cohen wrote it and had her sign it. Still, she has never had...
Did y'all hear that? Michael Cohen had me sign it. All right? She didn't say, oh. She didn't say, excuse me, that was my alarm. She didn't say that, oh, Trump had got his lawyer to get me to sign this. She said, Michael Cohen made this up, wrote this up, and made me sign it and got me to sign it. All right?
Any legal contact, with Donald Trump. It's all going through Cohen. So she is placing the target squarely on Michael Cohen, which is what the prosecutorial strategy has to be. They're going to have to use Michael Cohen to basically come back into court, do what he likes to do, lie, and say, I did this because Trump told me to, or he winked at me, or he tapped me on the shoulder a certain way, or he sent me a Morse code message and said, get rid of this woman. Because Stormy has nothing to offer. Nothing she is saying right now incriminates Donald Trump in anything. And in fact, she's just saying, Cohen did all this stuff.
Want to, which is why I signed my name wrong right before I went on Kimmel and pointed it out.
How did you sign your name?
It doesn't look like my signature.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
But you were still under the...
I signed it differently on purpose so that people would, I don't know, who knows what Stormy Daniels' signature looks like, but she signed the letter differently so it wouldn't be legal. Hey, Stormy, hate to tell you, but if you did X on the paper, it's your signature. How are you going to say that in court? Hey, I signed it differently because I didn't really want to sign it, but I still signed it. So you see how her credibility is draining by the second here?
NDA, so you
Yes.
felt that obliged to do this.
I was told if I didn't, they'd sue me for the $20 million or whatever it was. I had not been released from the NDA.
People say, and you know this because it's been blazing around on Twitter in the last week.
This is some new.
Well, no,
I love
they
that
say-
people say that it's new.
Well, they say, well, this is the
And-
letter that
and
proves... They say this is evidence that proves Stormy Daniels can't be trusted or
Right.
believed. What do you say to those people?
I said, I'm the only one that can be believed because I was the last one upholding the original agreement. I was the last one doing what I was supposed to do. Also, I never testified in court. That wasn't done under oath. That was printed off of an email that Cohen sent to somebody to send to somebody. It's not notarized. It's not endorsed. It's not an affidavit. It's not perjury. And I didn't break the NDA because if I hadn't signed that, I would have broken the NDA.
If you had not denied it.
If I had not done what they told me to do, if I had come forward and, said the truth, then I would have been liable and I wouldn't have been able to be released.
Oh,
Several
God.
months later, you'll then
Okay, so this woman, just so you understand, she's obviously talked to lawyers. It's not an affidavit. I bet she couldn't spell affidavit before all this happened. It's not notarized. It's not even signed by Donald Trump. It's meaningless. You can do whatever you want, Stormy. Doesn't really matter because it's not a legal document. It was printed off an email. That's the story you're going to tell the court. If they put you on the stand, you're going to tell 12 jurors and the world that, hey, listen, I just did this stuff because I was worried about getting sued. And in addition to being worried about getting sued, I checked with everybody and they said this wasn't legal anyway. So in that regard, I didn't have an NDA with Donald Trump. Well, if you didn't have an NDA with Donald Trump, what the hell did you get paid for and who paid you? And why would Donald Trump just say, I don't need an NDA? I'll tell you why, because it wasn't hush money. She's destroying the case minute by minute here.
lawyer Michael Avenatti released a sketch of the guy. We're not going to get into him. Spare you that. Released a sketch of the guy who threatened you in Vegas, and Donald Trump tweeted a sketch years later about a non-existent man, a total con job, playing the fake news media for fools, but they know it. And in May, the next month, he tweeted that he paid the money via Michael Cohen because the agreement was used to stop the false and extortionate accusations made about her, you, about an affair.
All right, so now Trump says I don't need NDA. I'm just going to pay her because I'm being extorted. So now we're going to have conflicting stories again. That's called reasonable doubt. Let's see what she says in regards to that.
You then sued for defamation against Trump because he was accusing you of inventing the Vegas incident with this guy who threatened you.
Even though there were witnesses, and you know what I mean, like this is the crux of the whole thing for me, is that going back to that, I sued to get released from the NDA. It was dismissed in my favor. Trump owes my attorney's fees. I won that, so I did not break the NDA. If anything, I was the last one standing holding it up. Then the defamation suit. Michael Avenatti wanted to file that. I told him absolutely.
Have you noticed what she's doing? She blames everybody else. She's supposed to be a savvy businesswoman right now, so it's everybody else's fault. Now this defamation suit that got filed, that was Michael Avenatti's idea. It wasn't mine. I didn't stand to benefit from it at all. That was Michael Avenatti. I don't know why he even did that.
No. He goes, why? I go, I get called way worse things by the minute. I don't. This is not worth.
And once you go down the defamation route, it's actually very hard in America to prove defamation.
Right. And so I was anti. I actually found out on Twitter that Michael Avenatti had filed that lawsuit.
So she's saying she didn't even know that Michael Avenatti filed a lawsuit on her behalf. It's all Avenatti's fault. It's all Michael Cohen's fault. It's all Donald Trump's fault. Stormy Daniels takes no culpability for doing any of this stuff.
That's how you discovered.
I was on my tour bus.
And to be clear, he then went to prison because he was up to all sorts of stuff.
Right. Not anything to do with that particular case.
I'm glad she said that because that is huge. Michael Avenatti went to prison. And she just said, but it had nothing to do with this stuff. So you can't say that Michael Avenatti is a liar or whatever else in regards to Stormy Daniels. The stuff he did with Stormy Daniels was not part of why he went to jail. So again, she's just putting more dirt on her testimony if it ever happens.
But then I was like, oh my God, no. He didn't say anything that bad. And
he didn't say anything that bad. She's talking about Trump at this point.
Somebody points it out because that's when the narrative got... Well, the first time it got really nasty towards me. And so I was like, oh my gosh, it is defamation. I could be like, I think you're stupid. I think you're ugly. That's my opinion. I can say whatever I want. If I say, Piers, you're a rapist or you're a thief, that is defamation. And he called me a liar. and that is defamation. So I was like, oh, I guess he's kind of right. But then he messed up the paperwork and missed a deadline, and they didn't have any precedent for going after a sitting president. So I lost the defamation suit.
So ultimately, you lost it, and they explained it was because of Trump's First Amendment right.
So she lost the defamation suit that Michael Avenatti told her to file or filed on her behalf, and then screwed up the paperwork. That's what happened. Michael Avenatti absolutely screwed up the paperwork. That's the story she's going with right now.
It's a free speech. That was upheld on appeal, and the Supreme Court declined to review. So that was the legal process.
Right, yes.
And
It's not free speech to call somebody something untrue. That's not
Yeah, she's not going to interpret the First Amendment. Okay, thanks, Stormy.
an opinion. It is defamation. And I believe if he had...
Oh, obviously it's not. If the appellate court and SCOTUS both said it's not, not you. You can't define it.
been who he was, and most importantly, I wasn't who I am, that the outcome of that case would be
so you
different.
felt because you were a porn star and he was president of the United States, you didn't have a chance of winning.
It was unfair, absolutely. The justice system failed me on that.
And is that another reason why you felt ecstatic when you heard he'd been indicted?
Absolutely.
She felt ecstatic when she found out that Trump got indicted, and it had nothing to do with her case. It was because, supposedly he did some hush money, and she still hasn't said anything other than the fact of she wanted to, basically, as you just heard, she was partly of the Get Trump ideology. I was ecstatic. Those were her words when she found out that he got indicted. Why would you have such a reaction to somebody getting indicted?
Because it's been repeatedly proven that of all things, I might be a whore, but I'm an honest whore.
I don't have any words for what that woman just said. I might be, but I'm an honest one. I don't even want to repeat what she just said, but I hope this gets played in the courtroom so everyone can know that she is a you-know-what, but she's an honest one, even though all this other stuff took place. Unbelievable.
In the defamation case, because you lost, you were ordered to pay $500,000 in legal costs to Trump attorneys. That was split over the original case and the appeal.
Because she lost the defamation case that she said is actually defamation, she owes Trump $500,000. She owes Trump probably, I think, $600,000.
Now, how they gonna use her case? She didn't even fulfill what she needed to fulfill. So right now, she breaking the law. And how this even case is valid now? This case needs to be thrown out. It makes no sense. Election interference. All right, conspiracy to commit election interference. Straight like that, with the lawyers, with the two Mikes, Mike Cohen and the other Mike, whatever. That's what's going on. People need to see this, man. Donald Trump is being bullied by the Democrats. All right? Let's get it going.
You've just been ordered yesterday by a court here in California to pay another $120,000 in legal fees. Again, over all that defamation case. That's over $600,000 now.
She owes Trump $620,000. Would that be a motivation as to why she was ecstatic? Her defamation case filed by a lawyer who's now in jail that she said she didn't want, but she does admit that she feels she was defamed, and it actually is defamation, regardless of what SCOTUS or the appellate court say, and they throw it out and they fine her $620,000 reliable for costs, and she doesn't seem like she has any problem with that. Why? Listen to what she says, right? We got 20.
We obviously know why she don't have no problem with that, because you see what she's doing with Trump. All right. Now, I don't know if this is a money grab, because I don't hear no price tag on it. Like, I don't hear anything about, they suing for this amount, like, the Jean Carroll situation.
Seconds left, and this last 20 seconds to me says it all.
How much have you paid so far?
$0.
You said I will go to jail before I pay a penny.
Absolutely, because the justice system failed me.
So you're not going to pay it?
Nope.
Even if it means that you're held in contempt and go to jail?
Yep.
You're prepared to do that?
Yes. I didn't come this far to back down and to give him money.
I didn't come this far to back down and give him money. Can you imagine that somebody who's trying to be a witness, federal case that Alvin Bragg is trying to make, is basically liable for a judgment in another court for $620,000 against the defendant in this New York case? How credible of a witness can you be if you owe $620,000?
Do you hear that? He is correct. I don't even think they're gonna try to push her to the side or something and try to get everybody to forget about her and still try to charge Trump. And if that happens, everybody needs to be like, yo, Trump 2024, because he's still going to be able to be president after that. But they trying to make him look bad.
Against somebody that you've gone on the record and say, I don't care if I'm in contempt of court. I don't care if I'm breaking the law. I'm not going to pay him a dime. But yet you plan on walking into court, putting your hand on a Bible because you're an honest you-know-what, and saying whatever you want, even though throughout this interview you've told us how non-credible you really are. This is amazing. What the hell was Alvin Bragg thinking? He had to have known this interview was out there. She just said on camera, I know I owe him $620,000. I admit I owe this man this money. I will never pay it, even if I go to prison. Well, of course she wants to go after Donald Trump. She owes him her livelihood. If he wanted to, he could attach her bank account. If he wanted to, every single time she did a movie or a show, he could be there and attach the box office records. He hasn't, but he could. So of course she's ecstatic about him getting indicted because she owes him $620,000. She's already received $130,000. She's negative $490,000. This woman's life is a catastrophe of her own making. She hired Michael Avenatti. She did a bunch of movies. Whether she did or did not have this fling with Donald Trump, does it really matter at this point? Could you put this woman on a stand and expect that she's going to tell the truth because she's ecstatic that he was indicted and she owes him $630,000? So I guess we're supposed to just accept the fact that she's an honest you-know-what all of a sudden, and that her get Trump ideology, her anger towards this guy who shunned her, who just let her have $130,000, didn't come after her, has not come after her for $630,000. What the heck is going on in New York?
Do y'all hear that, people? This woman owes Trump $600,000. He didn't freeze no accounts. He didn't do anything, which he can do if he wanted to. He could have made this woman's life a living hell and still can, but didn't do so. You understand what I'm saying? Like, come on. Trump is a real dude, man. It's Trump 2024, baby, man. Let's keep it going. That case needs to be dismissed. Once this video is dropped, once Alina Habba, I hope I'm saying her name right, she needs to bring this case into the courtroom, dismiss off the rip.
To believe at this point, there's not a stupid prosecutor in this case. Alvin Bragg's not doing anything. They've got DOJ prosecutor running this show. I'd be amazed if Stormy Daniels took the stand. I'm absolutely amazed, because what will happen once she gets cross-examined will destroy the entire case against Donald Trump.
Now, it will destroy everything. But remember what the judges are doing. They giving the lawyer gag orders. How you give a lawyer a gag order? How you give Trump a gag order? That means they can't defend themselves. So say, for example, they go ahead and get Stormy Daniels or whatever, and they put her on the stand. So what? Trump's lawyer can't say anything? Trump can't say anything? Ridiculous. And I hope that does not happen. But as you can see in this video, this is all a scam. This is all a setup. All a conspiracy to commit election interference.
And that doesn't even, just wait till Michael Cohen gets on the stage. But this is what we're looking at. We're looking at a complete clown show with basically clown type people who are trying to take down a former and future president of the United States. It's unreal. Let me know if you've seen this interview before and if you knew any of this stuff. Did you know that Donald Trump never signed the NDA? Did you know that right now Stormy Daniels owes Donald Trump $630,000 that she is not going to pay and is willing to go to jail so she doesn't have to pay it? But she's willing to testify, right? Because she's an honest you-know-what. So it's amazing. Let me know what you guys think. I saw this interview. I had to put something together.
And good luck with that dude, man. He did a good speculation right there, because it's like, yo, that was pretty good. I never saw that video. I did not see that video. I didn't. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I'm like, yo, wow. This nothing should be happening right now in regards to this hush money case. Dismiss. It's automatic dismiss. Like, yo, this how you know, man, how far and how wide the Democrats' conglomerate of connections that they have to get somebody. Because right now, Trump is being bullied. Shout outs to the people who know Trump is being bullied and you still gonna vote for him because you know all these lies is being put on him to make him look like he's a bad candidate. All right? No. He's the main one we need. And he needs to be in office November 5th, voted in. All right? Let's do our part, people. Let's vote this man in. All right? Let's support him. Do whatever we need to do, man. This is history right now. This right here is history. This is the most important time to vote ever in life right now. Because if it goes left again, we already know what we in for. We in for mandatory electric cars, which gonna die out on us in the wintertime, super hot sunny days, prices going up, inflation. He's gonna be spending more, giving more out to the migrants, other countries. We already know what's gonna happen. He is killing America from within. All right? Yo, thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments below what you think. All right? Please let us know. And please, it's Trump 2024. All right? Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can know every time I drop a new video. And yeah, man, it's Trump 2024. Spread this video, share it, because this needs to be all over the place so the public would know that this is a scam. That interview right there shuts down Trump's whole hush money case. All right? So pass the video around, spread it, share it. Let's vote Trump 2024, baby. Let's go. Thanks for watching. Peace.